Everyone who has millions started from zero, from this to that, from nothing to everything. As a divine healer, let me show you the blueprint to heal your deepest wounds, step into your destiny, and become the happiest person you know. My name is Steph Mahony, and welcome to your Million Dollar Life podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Million Dollar Life podcast. I'm your host, Steph Mahony. I'm a healer, divine channel, and spiritual teacher. I help women all over the world to step into their million dollar life and become the happiest person they know. This podcast is the pathway of how to step into the highest timeline of your destiny. Today, we're going to talk about the power of healing because it is time to let go of sadness because you are absolutely meant to have it all. The love, the happiness, the peace, the joy, the success, the abundance, a beautiful life. A beautiful life is more than just money. It is happiness beyond your dreams. And today we have with me my beautiful friend, Jennifer, who was with us last week. And we were talking about the Akashic records, and our conversation just was not over. So I invited her to come continue this week. So, Jen, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Stephanie. Last week was so much fun, and I'm really looking forward to tonight's discussion too.
Absolutely. So, for those who were not part of our conversation last week, let's just dive right in. We talked about the Akashic records. And in the Akashic records, we learned that this is our book of life of the past, present, and future. And that all of us do have access to these books, and it's a record of all of the lifetimes that we experienced. And the beautiful thing is that you can take a look at your lifetime today and identify where you are, what you're doing. And it's very similar to perhaps what you're doing in other lifetimes, maybe a different culture, a different postal code, a different body. But a lot of the things that you were carrying with you at that time, and a lot of the energy, whether it's good or bad or neutral, is carried forward because if you're not able to heal it in a lifetime, you have the opportunity to try again. And that's the beautiful thing about healing is that when you have awareness on something that's keeping you stuck, then you have the opportunity to heal it. So, this is the continuation that I felt really led to have for our audience because we're talking about what the Akashic records are. And now let's talk about solutions of how we can actually heal the karmic bondages. So, Jennifer, thank you again for being here with me.
Thanks, Steph.
So, for those of you who don't know, Jennifer and I, we both are energetic healers. We actually met many years ago as Reiki masters, and that then continued on our spiritual path of healing to become holy light intuitive healers. So, Jen, perhaps you can help clarify, what is the difference between Reiki that everybody knows and Holy Light Healing, which many people may not know. And before that, if you can even just share a little bit about what energetic healing is for those that may be a little bit new to this concept.
Sure, Steph. Yeah, like Stephanie said, we both met in Reiki. We're both Reiki masters, and Reiki is a gentle healing of the energy, a balancing of the chakras. It is so beautiful and so gentle, to clear out any energy that needs to be cleared out, any debris, can help with pain in the body. And also holy light. Holy light is an ancient universal energy that really goes in and goes deep and just blasts the energy and any stuck energy, any karmic debris from past lives, from this life, from things that you experienced years ago, can be cleared with this holy light. It also balances your chakras, and just really leaves you feeling better, lighter, with the layers of a few of the layers of the trauma gone.
which are both so amazing. And, as energy practitioners, we always say that there is no better than or less than. All energy is healing. All practitioners you receive energy healing from is amazing. And it's because all of this comes from a beautiful divine source, which is a beautiful place of love, really. And for those of you, when we're talking about healing, if you're like me, you're like, what are they talking about? Because I could tell you about 4 or 5 years ago, I had no idea what energetic healing was. And when I was being shown a higher purpose in my life and that I was going to be a healer, I really didn't understand what that meant. Like I'm like a doctor, like a holistic nutritionist. I don't know what you're saying. And then I heard about Reiki and I was like, I just like, I don't get it. But I was learning in this path that we have the power to actually heal our own bodies. And I learned about the power of divine healing, which is something I'm going to talk about in another episode. But with the power of divine healings, we actually have the power of healing our own bodies. And through energy healing, you know, we can tap into a higher source frequency and bring that into your body, your mind, your soul to take all of that spiky energy that's keeping you stuck and confused and in darkness and unhappy. And we can neutralize it, we can remove it from you. So it's like you're climbing up a ladder, and all of a sudden you can look around you and see light and clarity and inner wisdom and a higher knowing, higher level solutions. Like all of this becomes available to you when you're able to rise and raise your vibration. So, energy healing is a really, really amazing source of healing that's available to everybody. And as the world is ascending, more and more people are learning about this. And that's why I love having these conversations, because the more we know, the better we can do in this world. And this is perhaps the starting point for you. So if it is, I welcome you to it and I open my arms, because I know that sometimes learning these new concepts is a little bit intimidating, but I want you to just cozy up with a blanket, listen to what we have to say. And if it's something that aligns to you, then I welcome you to reach out and we can learn more. Or stick an emoji and ask questions in the comments so that we can answer them for you. So let's really just kick off and begin with the healing questions that we're talking about. So, for those of you who are tuning in, you know that I have a program. It's called the Blueprint to Your $1 Million Life. This is a program that was divinely channeled through me from divinity for women all around the world, and it's really this beautiful place of a death to rebirth to ascension. It's identifying through the Akashic records and astrology of what your inner wounds are. It's healing those inner wounds. And then it's understanding the pathway of ascension to rise up the circle that's keeping you stuck. And it's through this place of the blueprint that many, many people are seeing their life shift and transform to a higher place. So, Jennifer, there's two things I want to introduce about you. You're actually a former student of mine, and
Yes.
you are now actually a healer helping my other students in my program, which has been so amazing. Did you want to just share a little bit about your story?
Yeah, that'd be great, Steph. Thank you, Steph. It's a wonderful opportunity to, work with your students in this program. I feel that this program is great. I had such a great experience when I did the program myself. It just really, the program really helps you to not just to really see where you're at, where you may be feeling that stuckness, that frustration. We all feel that those frustrations and those, repeating patterns. Why am I keep having this same thing happen to me? Why can't I move past this? Why does this keep happening over and over? And you don't really know why. But I did find through the program, through the astrology report and the Akashic records and the healing, I was really able to really see what that light needed to be shone on to get that clarity in order to move above that glass ceiling that was overhead. So it was really great. And the energy healing, I love the energy healing. I love helping people to, really let go and release all that karma, which can be done so that anybody and everybody can step into their highest path and follow their North Star, just like your program teaches.
Absolutely. And, just a little bit about that is that, there are infinite timelines that are available to all of us based on free will choices that we get to make on a moment by moment basis. So it's like every choice you make, there's like a new fork in the road leading you to a new trajectory. And with these quantum infinite timelines, there's only one North Star. Your North Star is who you're born to be. It's the highest version of you. It's the highest level of your destiny, a destiny fulfilled of happiness, peace, joy, abundance. And this is the place where you have true fulfillment, everlasting fulfillment. And my purpose in this world is to show people the pathway of how to get there. And the fastest way to get there is through healing, because all of us internally are perfect, bright, shiny souls. It's the outer shell of us, the layers of darkness, of trauma, of limiting beliefs, of so many years of ancestral baggage that we're carrying that keeps us dark and confused and stuck, kind of like a glass ceiling. So, one of the beautiful things about this program is that, yes, you get to identify the areas that are keeping you stuck, but then you actually have an opportunity to begin healing. And this is where I really want to focus on today, so that we can help people let go of sadness and really begin to shift and pivot into a new timeline of their destiny and live a life they truly love. So, when we do a healing session in our program, maybe I was wondering if you can just share a little bit about what that looks like for the students. And for those of you also just tuning in, I have been previously the teacher and healer of the students of the Blueprint $2 Million Life. But as things have continued to evolve and expand, I just haven't had capacity to heal each one of my students. So it was really in this beautiful divine contract of divinity introducing Jennifer into my life on so many different levels, and her being the person who's now carrying out my program's healing leg to help our students heal for their highest good. So, first of all, Jennifer, it's really such an honor for you to do that for me. And I really want to thank you because you are just incredible. And, before you even dive into anything, I was wondering if you can even just share a little bit about your healing experience and what that looks like for people.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing that really stands out to me about the healing is that anything can be healed energetically, and you really don't have to re-talk through the pain, really bring up the trauma. It can be healed and just, let it go. But from my own self, I have found that both Reiki and then Holy Light has really helped me to really gain clarity on where that frustration sits, where that sadness, the root of that sadness is. And then through your program, you're able to actually not only gain the clarity, but then come to an understanding on how to flip that and really step forward. So not only does the healing allow you to actually, let go of that energy, finally really surrender those old patterns the program teaches you, how to build in the new patterns going forward, which is really a great experience.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And so a lot of these students that are taking this program, Jen, are from all around the world. Like, how does that work for a person who lives on the other side of the country to be able to have a healing session with you?
So for the healing, all the healing we do is remote healing. So it can be done either like this through a computer screen where I can look at you and we can proceed with the healing that way. Or we can just set a time, and at that time, you can cozy up and lay down with a blanket, dim your lights, and put on a nice record. You can curl up in a big chair with a cup of tea, whatever feels best for you. And basically, we meet at a frequency, kind of like tuning a radio station. We'll both tune the radio stations to the same frequency, and you will receive the energy healing this way because there is no really time and space we can heal remotely. So basically, how a session will work is when you get to the program at level or lesson 3, sorry, you get your astrology report. In lesson 4, you continue learning about the astrology report and you can pull it all together. And at the end of lesson 4, when you're ready for the healing, we set up an appointment and then we can proceed with the healing. Again, like I said, it's up to you. We can meet online like this, or we don't have to. We can just set a time and you can just be open to receiving the healing. If we're meeting online, then I will activate the energy, call in the energy, call in all of our guides, calling the healing guides. Um, we can discuss what karma you are ready to let go at this point. Once the healing is activated, I will tap into your heart chakra, opening your heart chakra and checking on all your chakras just to kind of get an idea of where you are. And then basically, it is an intuitive healing. So I would just follow the guidance I'm given by my healing guides, by your guides, by any angels who have come in. And we follow through the healing, just releasing whatever energy needs to be released as we go.
That's amazing. And just to clarify a couple of things is that healing is available to everybody, right?
Mhm.
And you don't even need my program. But the
Yes.
thing that makes it different is that through astrology, you can actually pinpoint the karmic blockages that are preventing you from moving forward. So then at that point, that's when students have the ability to write down everything that they're ready to release, that's holding them back, that they're ready to let go of, and just finish in this timeline so that they can push forward into this new frequency. And, with healing, it really is a lifelong journey, but like a layer of onions, right? Like if you imagine our soul as an onion with so many different layers, when you begin to heal one layer, begin to heal all layers. So when you have these intentions that you're finally ready, you've identified what's keeping you stuck, and you're finally ready to call it out. That's when Jennifer is able to call it out by name, and it's as if she's cutting scissors and releasing these karmic threads from your energetic matrix, which then dissolves back into the light through the power of holy light. So, holy light is about 1,000 times more powerful than Reiki. And it really goes into the origin of the karmic wound that's been keeping you stuck since it was incepted. So that's an amazing thing. So you're really, the degree you're ready to release this is the degree that it's going to come back to you in light and blessings and awakening new gifts and pivoting you back into divine alignment. So those that are really ready to release are going to see huge, amazing impacts. Those who are not, that's okay. You'll still receive what
Mhm.
your soul is ready to needs at that point in time, which is also really beautiful because you're still going to see shifts and changes while others can see quantum jumps and leaps. Like all are beautiful because they're baby steps forward, which is amazing. And another thing that Jennifer should really, I would love if you can mention is, you have these amazing gifts. And when you first started, you're an amazing healer outside of our relationship. But
Mhm.
you're like, Steph, I can't channel information. I can't see anything. Like I can't. But then when we were really guided to do healing sessions together, even outside my program, and I think it was just part of both our ascension journey. Every 2 weeks we get together and we heal and doing the energy exchange. What started off as I can't. All of a sudden, like you can. And you have been channeling such amazing information that all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I need a notebook, like running to just to like document everything, which has been so cool. So do you want to just share a little bit about that?
Sure. That has been an amazing journey, Steph, because you're right. I mean, when Stephanie and I first decided to do some healing together every 2 weeks, that's exactly. I'm like, okay, Steph, I got this down with the holy light, but I can send the holy light. And that's where my healing came in. Was this, this self doubt, this fear of failure. So I kind of just went, I don't think I can do that. But what it was I was stopping myself through this fear of failure, which had actually been presented in my astrology report when I originally did Stephanie's course. And at the time, I had healed layers of it. But then when this time came and Stephanie and I were doing our own healing, I'm like, oh, that's where this is. And so it came up again to be healed. So now during when I do sessions with people with Stephanie, I can, if we're on um, camera like this, I can talk if you want to know what's coming up, where I'm going, which chakra needs work, messages from guides. Sometimes they show me images or pictures. Sometimes it's words or songs or, anything at all could come up. So, of course, you're always open to, I can provide you with this information as we go. Or if you'd just rather not know and just have the actual healing, then that's fine too. It all works very strongly.
Which
Like,
is so amazing. And I love
yeah.
sometimes too, because you have already the intentions of what you're planning to remove. If during that session a person has a question, I know sometimes I do, and I'll ask you a question and they'll be able to answer it. Your guides, my angels, they work through you for my highest good at that moment of time, and they're able to assist myself or the student to whatever questions they have while you're actually doing the healing. So it really is like two layers of healing at the same time. It's like healing for your body, your soul, but also for your mind, your peace of mind, which is
Hmm.
those ruminating questions that we all have that keep circulating over and over again. And when you're able to ask it from a higher level perspective and get a higher level response and solution,
Hmm.
suddenly it's like you see the pathway again, and it makes
Yeah,
such perfect sense.
it really does kind of helps to build the bigger picture, of just what is happening. I remember once, kind of makes me think I had this one session of holy light with someone, and it was just kind of an overall well being. And she said, okay, I'm not sure, what I'm going to release, just an overall well being. So I said, fine. We went in clearing her chakras. One thing was very apparent is I kept being pulled to her left arm. And I said, I spent a long time at your left arm. Whatever is there is now released. And at the time she said, oh, well, nothing was there. I don't know, but thank you. That it felt great. She could feel the energy. And as we talked a little bit longer, all of a sudden, some emotions came up. And what's come? What is this? And she was remembering that when she was a very, very young child, she'd broken her arm
Oh my
in that
God.
exact spot. Her arm was perfectly healed. She had no problem from the arm, no pain from the arm. But now the emotions were coming up. And she said, oh, well, and she started talking about the experience of the break and the telling people at the time it was broken and not being listened to, not being heard. And so then the more we talked, she just talked it through, shed a few tears and went, wow, okay. I didn't even know I still had that in me because it was from so long ago. She was just a little girl, but that was a huge healing. Something she didn't even know that she had to let go of, but it was time.
And that's the thing we should really say, because many of us have this layer of sadness in our life because
Mhm.
at one point we haven't been seen or heard. Something
Mhm.
really it really affected us, and it was as if it was swept under the rug, and that our feelings didn't matter and we couldn't actually heal from it. And what happens is that when we're holding that energy within us, as we move forward with life, when something similar happens, then it actually expands. Like that tiny dot now becomes a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And all of a sudden, it becomes a filter of the way you see the world, the way that you see yourself, the way you see other people. And you begin to project things back upon you, and which comes through the lens of inferiority, of self-limiting beliefs, of this toxic trait that you keep attracting over and over again. You don't even know why, right? By this point. So just as you mentioned with your friend, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes people don't know the way they are, but it's things that have happened
Yeah.
so long ago in our subconscious mind that we've actually moved past. But
Mhm.
everything is recorded in the book of life. It's all recorded and stored in our body. So we don't even understand where this is coming
No.
from. So it's really beautiful that the guides for her highest good were able to show you that, to heal it, because that's now
Yeah.
probably pivoting her slightly into a new direction, right?
Oh, yeah, it really did. And it was something she didn't understand. She needed healing. When I was doing the healing, she didn't feel it. Like she did shed a few tears, but it was more just in memory. But I mean, that story had held her back. And as she spoke about it, saying, wow, like, yeah, I didn't feel seen. This is how it happened. And wow, now that I look back on it, that was awful for that little girl to have gone through. But now she can kind of embrace that and just really let it go.
Love that. And I
She
think
didn't even
this
know she
is,
was carrying it.
yeah, right. And
Mhm.
I think this is a call to action for all of us as a person on the other side, that sometimes if people are going through a hard time, everybody just wants to feel seen and heard. And you may not even understand what they're going through at that moment, but when you can just be there, and that's why they say sometimes just sitting beside somebody when they're going through a hard time, you may not have any of the answers, but you see them, you feel them, and they know that they're not alone. Like that's the place of where healing really starts. And if you could just be that person to see and acknowledge, that is one step forward for them that they get to move through,
Mhm.
to get to that other side. So I think
It's
that's,
huge.
yeah.
It's huge. And like you said, Steph, sitting with somebody is so important because you can't heal anybody in this life.
Mhm.
Everybody has to heal themselves. And even if you do try, even if you are successful in helping someone move from one point to the other, which is beautiful, but they will still have to go through that again on their own because we're here for a reason to heal certain things for ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's the best thing you can do is sit and really just be with someone and really actively listen, really let somebody know and feel that they've been heard. Because that's what we all really want is to know that we're heard and
Yeah,
we matter.
absolutely. And the beautiful
Mhm.
thing that I've discovered through this energy healing is that, you know, you are seen and heard through divinity. We feel
Mhm.
that we're really walking in this lifetime alone. But there's this veil that we can't see it, and on the other side of the veil is ancestors, your angels, your spirit guides. the ascended masters, the highest beings of white light and love, like everything is surrounding you and loving you with the highest frequency of love. And sometimes we feel so alone that we can't perceive and we don't understand what that's like because it's not physically in front of us, right? But the moment we ask for healing, they come and they comfort you. If you can go to an energetic healing, they work with them, through them, to give you healing and comfort you because they understand everything that you've gone through. They actually understand all of the core wounds that you have. So they work through your energetic healing practitioner to identify those pinpoints, just as you've done Jennifer with her arm, and provide that healing to places that may not make sense for us, but
Yeah.
could resonate afterwards, which was completely true in this case as well.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing I find, you're talking about the angels and the ascended masters and feeling alone. When you are feeling so frustrated and sad, like so many of us are, have been, you're vibrating at a frequency of worry and stress and fear, and you do feel alone because that's where that frequency is. But as you start healing and, start energetically healing with through the holy light, it really enables you to start to raise your frequencies away from that frequency of fear. And through your program, you flip the fear, and then you all of a sudden find that you don't feel so alone because your frequency is actually shifting higher out of the fear. And so you are actually able to start to feel those little nudges from your guides, those little calls from the ascended masters. It really is beautiful when you can, just embrace that new frequency.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, energetic healers are amazing. All of us have our gifts. And again, like there's no right or wrong, good or bad. There's no better than or less than. Like everything is equal. We just have our own strengths in different areas. And the thing I love about you, Jennifer, is that you have become this incredible powerhouse healer where you have this inner vision of seeing, you have the clairvoyance, you have the clairaudience, you're a direct channel to divinity. So when you are healing my students, when you are doing healing sessions with me, the messages that you're providing me with and my students are so relevant of what we need at that moment of time. And then at the very end, you even follow it up with something so beautiful, which is a little card reading to just firm up and validate what it is that we did together. And, for those who are new to oracle cards, to tarot cards, they might sound a little bit spooky because growing up as a Catholic, this was definitely not something you learn in Bible school. What I've come to learn is that it's just this way for divinity to communicate with you for your highest good. And they work through energy, through the order of the cards to paint a picture of something perhaps in the past, the present, the future, of something that you're going through to provide a story, first of all, of acknowledging, yes, we see you. And this is actually the illusion of what you think it is, but it's not this, it's actually this. And it's pulling off the mask and allowing us to have an awakening of what's actually going on and
Exactly.
providing a beautiful hope of the future. And this is a message of what you actually really need at this moment. And it's really, really nice because you get the energy healing, you get your guidance through the healing session, and then you finish it off with this card reading to close the loop and provide this amazing message, whether it's recorded or live. It's really lovely. So, Jen, I was asking you to maybe share a little bit about your expertise to some of those that are not very familiar with this.
Yeah, for sure.
And can you just explain a little bit about the cards that you use, how you choose them, and how this all works for somebody who's never done this before?
Yeah, sure, Steph. So at the end of, like Stephanie said, at the end of every session, I grab a deck of oracle cards, tarot cards, kind of whatever I'm drawn to. I have a large library of a variety of different cards, different angel messages, different healing messages. Um, I just would be drawn to whichever one, I'm kind of guided to at the time. They all have different images, words. Some have numbers for numerology. And I just pull some at the end. And what they do is kind of maybe they shine a light on a certain part of the healing. They kind of just show what was healed. Maybe they give guidance on a path forward, showing you, what the next steps in your healing journey, something that's coming up. It's kind of a nice way to really, I find, wrap up the healing session. So often, what is shown in the cards is actually what was healed. So it's kind of an aha moment. And then I can either pull them live like this, or I can pull them after the fact, taking pictures, giving voice recordings so that you can kind of listen to them.
So,
Um, the week later, I find a lot of time, I pull a couple cards. I find a lot of times the first one or two cards is kind of like, okay, that's what we just healed. I see where I'm coming. But often the last one or two cards is where you're going to, a little bit of direction, a little bit of hope of what's to come. So
yeah,
it's kind of interesting to play the recording back or to look at the cards again, a week or two later and go, oh, that's what that is.
I couldn't agree more,
Mhm.
especially that place of hope because we're like, we all
Yeah.
know our business. Sometimes we're like, okay, I heard that once. I'm like, okay. But you always have this beautiful
Yeah.
way to share that message, to bring it all together in alignment. But I love when you also share those messages of hope because on those days that are really hard,
Yeah.
I love that you do this after the fact, you have it recorded, and then that way I could just pop in and I can listen to this.
Mhm.
It just gives me that reminder. It gives me that push forward. On those dark days, it's like
Mhm.
a little glimmer of light. And Jen, I always tell you your voice is hypnotic whenever you do these things. So I just kind of lie there, sometimes fall asleep because I'm relaxing. But it's so, so nice, and it's always completely relevant, like, bang
Mhm.
on of what I'm going through. So, I thought it'd be kinda cool just to do a live session. I sprung up on you.
Yeah,
But
that sounds great.
if you just wanted to share, even just on me, like, whatever
Sure.
cards I could pull up of something maybe I need to know at this moment or something I can look forward to, whatever you feel called at this moment that you think I might need for my highest good, maybe just pull 3 cards to describe what that looks like.
Yeah, for sure, Steph, I can do that. The one thing too is that whatever deck I'm pulled, like guided to use, it's the messages are coming from your guides, your angels, they are kind of having the cards. Sometimes the cards will fly out or they'll kind of shift or pivot in different directions. And the message, I'm just kind of giving the message from them, what they want you to know, what they want you to see. It is, like you said, it's just a tool. There's nothing kind of to be intimidated or nervous about. It's just how they're getting, what they want you to know across so that you do understand what they're saying and what they're trying to communicate with you. So with that being said, I'll use this deck. It's one I have right here. It's called the Angel Wisdom Tarot. It's kind of a tarot oracle card. It's by Radley Valentine. For those of you who can see it, you can see the box. There's this beautiful angel, and actually, it looks like he's into the Akashic records right there on the front. He has the Book of Life.
See,
I didn't
everything's
even notice that until I'm showing this to you right now, Steph. So
really
yeah, that's really cool. So. Okay, so I just kind of grab my cards. I kind of let the energy flow through my hands for, at the moment, taking in any information from my guides, from your guides, asking, whatever it is, whatever they would like you to
and
know,
I don't even know
your
what you're gonna
highest
pull,
good.
so
No, I have
so
no
let's
idea
see at
either.
this.
I'm just shuffling them. So what I do is I just kind of shuffle them and see some cards flew out. I'm not sure if you get shot on the camera. Sometimes they fly out and that's a definite message. Sometimes they just twist or shift. We have some more cards coming out there.
And for
Mm,
those as you're shuffling, so whenever
yes.
cards fly out, there's really no mistakes in this quantum universe. This is the energy
Yes,
that you might not have picked up this card because it wouldn't have been that order. So it's being forced out because it's a message that is meant for you to read at this point, which is really amazing. So
exactly.
those are always the ones you like, okay, this is for you. Like, Steph, you're only supposed to get one, we got five.
And that does often happen. They just,
Yeah.
the cards really want to speak. There is like
Yes.
always a
Yeah.
story. You can see a
They,
path,
and
you
that's
can
because
see a
they have so
story.
much love for you and they just want to talk to you.
Yeah.
They're so happy. Honestly, they're just so happy that you're giving attention to a higher realm because they want nothing more to guide you and protect you and love you and answer the questions that you're ready to receive.
Yeah,
And
that's exactly it.
the reason they don't just do this on their own is because it's through free will and it's through discernment, right? Like they have a law that they can't in, interrupt your free will. But the moment you ask for help or if you have a question, then it opens up the gates for them to come to you from the highest place of love and light to assist you at that moment.
Exactly. And I also find, although anyone can pull cards for themselves, like you said, Steph, anyone can do a healing on themselves. It's just sometimes easier to have somebody else do it because our own ego gets in our own ways.
Mhm.
And that's why you and I do healings on each other,
Yeah.
rather than just doing them on ourselves.
Especially if you're so focused or you're like going through a hard time, it's the only thing you can see. It's hard to get a clear message because you're only still seeing that, right? Like for human
Yeah,
beings too. So it's
exactly.
good to like work with somebody you trust
Yes,
that works with the light and
yes,
has your back, and
exactly.
is completely neutral to
Mhm.
your situation so they can give you a clear message of good at that moment.
Exactly. Someone can help you kind of shine that light so that you can
Yeah.
see within your own box. Sometimes we put ourselves in such a tight little box
Yes,
of fear and frustration and protection that we need someone else to help us with that flashlight, right?
exactly.
Okay, Steph, I did get some cards for you. I did get three. So I'll just go through them. I'll show them on the camera for those of you watching. For those of you just listening, I
Oh,
will explain them.
wow.
So the first card, Steph, you got some pretty powerful cards here. The first one is called the High Priestess. And this is what is known as a major arcana card, which is a very powerful card in this deck. And the High Priestess is one of, if you look at the card, for those of you who can see, it's this beautiful angel sitting on her throne with her book of life, Akashic records there, right, open on her. The High Priestess is a very, very intuitive, the most intuitive card in the deck. So it says, meditate and turn inwards to discover your true soul's desires. You are developing your intuitive gifts. Trust all the wisdom that you receive. So it is part of such high intuition, high just really tapping into your soul, asking your soul, what is it I want? What direction am I going in? And then receiving from yourself where you're going.
And sorry, are these messages you're sharing what I need for my highest good at this moment? Was this what it was?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So this is where, so your first card, the cards always kind of tell a story. So first we kind of look at them one each, and then we can kind of double back and see how they all build together. But your first one is the High Priestess. So it's tapping into your soul's desires. And then again, you see this beautiful angel, and she's got that Akashic record. So she's tapping into her own Akashic records, her own soul, to see what are my next steps forward? Where am I moving? And the next card you got, again, another major arcana card, which is a very strong card saying, these are blueprint cards. You are on your true path north. These are things that are kind of written in the stars. So the next card you got is a card of renewal. And this is, as you can see, for those of you watching, it's a card of balance. There's the angel is kind of levitating in the air there. There's the two flags on either side. The angel's arms are up. It's reviewing all of your past with compassion and forgiveness and moving forward in this new direction with clarity. So you can see the story that's being told to you is, you know, spend some time going inward. This is what you have been doing. You've been kind of going inward, seeing where you want to move forward. And we do this repeatedly with every new thing we do, with every new project we do. We go inward, we tap into our own desires, our own intuition. Where am I going? What's happening next? And then that's what brings you this renewal, this new energy, this new path forward, so that you can have new abilities, your new gifts, or whatever you need to move forward in that. And your last card, I only pulled 3 this time, is the Six of Cups, or cups are also known as love. So it's the Six of Love. And you see there's these 2 children, they're exchanging of flowers in this beautiful field. There's an angel behind them watching them. And it says children or childhood, revisiting old dreams and plans and embracing your inner child. So it's that part of really healing yourself, healing that inner child that, that has, felt neglected or hurt in the past. So, I mean, your cards are really one of healing, one of, energetic healing, the holy light healing, go inside and really see what it is you need to heal, what steps you need to take, moving forward to this renewal, this new energy, and really reconnecting with this inner child and showing that inner child so much love so that you can, come to peace with whatever it is that's coming up for you at any point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel
Mhm.
like the more forward you go in that next layer and level of success, it's another aspect of your inner child that you have to heal, you know?
Definitely.
The inner
Hmm.
child is kind of like the ego. The ego sometimes
Yes.
comes up as like really loud and controlling, but the reverse ego is really the opposite. It's unworthy
Mhm.
and inferior and not good enough. And that's where I think most of us fall under, especially as women. So I feel like as you move forward, there's another layer of that reverse ego of our inner child that we need to heal. There's something that happened that's still
Yes.
keeping us there, that retracts us a little bit. But once you love it and you still do it anyway, you learn to do life with fear with that little child right beside you. You're no longer held back. And I think the more you do healing, the faster you're able to walk through these situations.
Exactly. And I mean, the more clarity you're going to be able to recognize these
Yeah,
situations when they come up, because all our lives will still have that, those little feelings of inferiority, those little feelings of fear. We never stop learning, but it's learning how to bring awareness to it quicker, to flip it quickly so that
exactly.
we don't stay there or we don't sink lower.
So I want to thank you. I know that was like super short, but this is also something that I need at this moment of time. But when you're working with someone specifically, you're talking about specific issues and to help them
Yes.
get this pathway of solution with the issues in the cards, which is really, really so helpful. And as we close this off, I was wondering if you can also pull a card for the collective of
Mhm.
something that they may need.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Steph. So I'll pull a card and I'm just asking a card for something that could relate to anybody who's watching. So anyone, whenever time you're watching this video, this card is right for you. Whether you're seeing this video the moment it's released or 2 weeks later, it's when you're needing to receive this message. Okay. Out. Okay, here's the card. Okay, so this card that came out is the card 3 of Air. I'm going to show it. The 3 of Air. And you see this woman, and it looks like she's talking to an angel. You can see the angel is holding her hand, and she's really looking at him, looking up into his eyes. And you can see she has this red pin on over her heart, and the pin is in the shape of a red heart. So she's looking to this angel for healing. The card actually almost has a little bit of almost a bit of a sad or a quieter kind of look with the kind of darker blues. But if you read what the card says, it says great sadness that will heal over time. It is time to let go of the past. Personal growth that comes from challenges, healing from misunderstandings, being there for those in need. And as you do look at the card, you can see this girl has this blue dress on, and blue is the color of our throat chakra, the color of our voice, and the color of our authentic self. Even if you look at the angel, he is all dressed in white, but he has his blue sash on. And to me, it looks like this angel is bending down to provide her with the healing, helping her to see her true self, helping her to find her true voice and heal her heart. Heal, so as a message to the collective, heal everybody's heart, heal our sadness. The angels are here to help us all really step into our own true authenticity and step into our own true voice and really step into who we're meant to be. And it's time to leave the sadness behind, kind of pivot at this point and move towards our true north, like you were always saying in the program, Steph. And the angels are here to tell us it really is possible and it is time.
I really, really love that. I think that that is so fitting because it's a moment for the collective of what we're looking to do, which is really why we're trying to heal. We're trying to get the next layer of sadness and transform it to happiness so that we can step into a new chapter of happiness for all of us.
Mhm.
But anyways, I really want to thank you on that note, Jennifer, for your time and talking about your healing sessions. This has been so beautiful. It's so powerful. And if somebody would like to learn more about what you can offer as a healer, how can they be in touch with you?
Anyone can reach me on, I have Facebook and Instagram, and it's my name, Jennifer DA Intuitive, or I do have an email address at jennifer@da.com, which I believe is posted in the notes of this video.
Yeah, absolutely it will be. That's amazing. Well, if this is something that resonated for you, please drop an emoji, heart sign in the comments below. If you do have any questions about healing or a topic that you'd like to discuss for future podcasts, please write this in the notes below so that we can answer them and be more specific in part of your own healing journey. So until then, I want to thank you for joining us. From my heart to yours, namaste. Until we meet again. Thank you. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. If you are ready to heal your deepest wounds and manifest your greatest life, I welcome you to explore the blueprint to your $1 million life, a divinely channeled program that is creating miracles for people all over the world. Visit www.stephmahony.com.